Hi guys, this is Uma from Mermaid Couture, and today we'll be making this beautiful mermaid dress. If this is what you would like to learn, please stay glued to my channel. Thanks guys. Welcome back to my channel. This is Uma from Mermaid Couture, and today we'll be making a mermaid dress with this white chantilly soft lace. Okay. So for the style you're seeing on the thumbnail today, there will be a yoke on the dress. There would also be a half length. There would be a half length of the waistline, so 2 inches to 3 inches above the knee. Then the lower part would be the flare that would amount to the mermaid. So for this tutorial sake, I'll be drafting all pieces on my pattern paper. Number 1, because it's a tutorial. Number 2, because it's a white fabric. So if I was doing this on my own without the phone, without the tutorial, I would just draft directly on my fabric. But for the upper part and the skirt part that will join to make the dress will be on my brown paper. Okay, then I'll put the flare on the fabric directly. So I'll just go ahead and impute all her accurate measurements for this. Okay, for the upper part, her front half length is 19. Okay, so remember I said it's going to be dissected into 3 parts. Okay, for the length of her dress is 59. Yes, the length of her dress is 59. So her back half length is 16. So 59 minus 16, length of her dress is 59. So for the half length would be 16. So remember, we're not using 16 for the front and the back. The back half length, which is 16, her front half length is 19. Yes. So what I'm going to do is minus 59 from 16, which is the back half length. Okay, then I got that figure to be 43. So 43 would be what will be left for the skirt part of the mermaid dress and the flare. Okay, so for the skirt part of the mermaid dress, I want the skirt to be from her waistline to like 2 to 3 inches above her knee line. So remember, we got 43 from the subtraction of the half length. Okay, so we're going to get when I divide that 43 into 2, one will be for the flare, one will be for the fitted skirt part. So I would have 21.5, which is 43 divided into 2, 21.5. So I will take 121.5 and use that as my skirt part. So I will minus 2 from it, or 3 inches from it. That would be from my waistline to 2 to 3 inches above my knee line. Okay, then the remaining 21.5, I would add that 2 or 3 I subtracted from that first 21.5. That would be the amount of my flare. So let's say, for instance, I've added that 2 to the 21.5, which is 23.5. So 23.5 or 24.5 would be the length of my flare. Okay, that would be the length of my flare. So I've dissected all this into portions. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and impute my measurements for my half length now. Her front half length is 19. So plus my sewing allowance, which is 1 inch, which is 20. Okay, so I will just quickly place that. I hope my pencil will be able to capture. Okay, it's capturing. Okay, so I will try and coat it a bit so that it will get through. Everyone can see it. So we're making a bustier for this class. Okay, so I will just impute on my measurement. 19 will be the front half length plus my sewing allowance, 1 inch, which is 20. Okay, 20, please. Let me connect the marker 20. So I will do this alphabet. So then I'll go ahead and place all my straight measurements now, which is my shoulder divided by 2, Okay, shoulder divided by 2. Her shoulder is 8 plus my sewing allowance, which is 8.5. Okay, so I'll use that and form a square. 8.5 on both sides, all equal sides, to form a square. So this is my 8.5. Okay, I'll roll this out as well. Okay, so I would impute my boss points, under boss, front half length. Okay, so I'll do that. Okay, my boss point is 13 inches plus my sewing allowance, which is 13.5. Her under boss is 17 point. Check. Under boss is 17.5, which is at 18. So the rest would be my half length. The remaining part will be my half length. So as you can see from this picture, from this measurement, sorry, you will notice that this person is quite busty. Okay, this person is busty. So this is my chest line, this is my bust point, and this is my under bust. Okay. So what I will do next is go ahead and impute my bust span. My bust span is 8.5, which is 4.2. Since we're going to cut out the dart, we're going to add in your half an inch sewing allowance, which is at 4.75. So I'll take that point all the way to where I want, where it's going to stop, 4.75. So I'm not supposed to stop at your bust point, okay? But I'm going to take it up to my chest line. Because kind of that I want to create, it will then enable me to take out my yoke and concentrate on the other parts of the half length. Okay, 4.75. So I would rule this outrightly. Okay, so at my bust point, because she's a very busty person, I'll come down, if possible, 1 inch or 0.75. I will do that to this other part. I'll go upwards 1 inch as well. Okay, I hope you can see very clear. So at my under bust, I will take out 1 inch from the center fold. This is my center fold, and this is my side front. Okay, SF, CF. So I'll take out 1 inch at this point, and at this point I will take out 1.5, which is in total 2.5. Okay, 1 inch. The same thing I took out here, I will take out from the waistline as well. 1 inch, 1.5. Okay, so this will serve as the dart intake for this bust here. Okay, so I would connect the curve with my French curve. As you can see, I'm trying to connect the curve, so I'll place it in such a way that it's hitting the 1 inch I came down by. Okay, so this is my first curve, and this other part I'll connect from here, and this will be my second curve. Okay, so I'll take this one straight down, like it's looking here. Take it straight down this point. So from the picture, what we can see on the picture, it has a yoke, and the yoke was just directly on the chest line. Okay, let me just put us through this process. What we're seeing on the picture, if you want much cleavage to show around your bust line, you just you go ahead and find out the difference between your bust point and your under bust. Okay, we have that to be 4.5. Okay, so from your bust point you move up 4.5 inches. Okay, and you make a line there. This line is just for, to guide you. Anything above this 4.5, this second 4.5 which you measured, there will be no cleavage, no much cleavage showing. But if you decide to go below this 4.5, this is the first 4.5, okay, and this is second 4.5. So if you decide to go below this line, there will be much cleavage showing on this dress. So it works for all sizes. Anything you have on your bust point, you take that again for clarity's sake to put you at a point where you're supposed to know where your cleavage will show and where it's not going to show. For this, I think I will just maintain the chest line for this dress, because by the time I'm done sewing, a bit of cleavage, because definitely you're going to sew by half an inch, so a bit of cleavage will show at the end. So I'm just following what the customer sent to me, okay? And 3.5, okay? By the time I'm done turning the bias, it can be a little bit wide, but I know what to do while I'm sewing. I will not sew directly on 3.5. I will not sew directly on half an inch, okay? Then for the depth, she does not like a neckline that chokes at all, so I will just do 4, okay? So I'll connect the lines together. I'll connect these lines together with a French cord. Okay, so I've gotten a basic neckline for this. Okay, so I'll take my shoulder slope. For the shoulder 8, right? Yeah, the shoulder 16. I'll take 1.2 for the shoulder slope, and I'll connect directly to the tip of my neckline. Then I will divide whatever it is I have left on the chest line into 2. That would serve as my point where I would make my armhole curve. Okay, so I will connect all the lines together. At this point where I marked half an inch, I will come in 0.5, 0.75 for a medium. For a medium, you come in 0.5. For a large size, you come in 0.75. So I'll just make a point at 0.5 or 0.6 for this person, and I'll connect and make all curves to get there. Okay, so I have successfully gotten the curve for my front armhole. So I'll go ahead and impute all my measurements. Okay, her bust is 45. Yep. My bust is 45, which is 11.45 divided by 4, which is 11.25. Okay. I'll just go ahead and add 3.5 inches. So I'll just go ahead and add 3.5 inches for the bust, or do 3 inches. Okay. So I'll rule this line. So whatever it is I have on my bust line, I will take it to my chest line also. Okay. I have 15, so I'll take it to my chest line. Remember, it's a bustier, so we'll be taking more and adding more, so that at the end of the day we'll be on the safe side. Okay. So her waist is 36. Yes, her waist is 36. There by 4, that's 9. Okay. So I'll go ahead and impute my darts. I'll check the total dart leg, which is 2.5. Okay, 2.5. Then I will need half an inch to join them together. Okay. Then also I will be needing 2 inches for my sewing allowance. So I will connect all these lines together. From my bust point to my waistline, and this other one to this part. Okay. So what I did was I connected from my waistline to my bust point, okay, and from my bust point to my chest line. Okay, so I'll move over to, I want to contour this part. At this midpoint, I will take out 0.75. Okay, 0.75 on both sides. I'll take out 0.75 on both sides. Then I would merge it back to this 1 inch I came up by on the bust point. I hope you can understand very well. So I'm connecting all the lines together. So this is how the bustier will be looking. So you know, when I'm cutting, I'm supposed to fold in this dart like this while I'm cutting, but I will not do that because I need this part of my yoke to still be accurate. Okay, then when I cut out the yoke part, I can now fold and cut. So let's quickly take out the difference between your front half length and your back half length. So the front half length is 19, while the back half length is 16. So we have a difference of 3 inches. 19 minus 16. So we have a difference of 3 inches. Okay, so I'm taking out 3 inches from my bust dart, okay, to balance up this side, so that when I merge it to the back side, you would see how it balances up together. So when I cut, I'll cut through here and replace back my darts. Okay, so I took out 3 inches, the difference between my front half length and my back half length. 3 inches from the side, 3 inches from the side, please. Okay, so this would be my yoke. As I'm cutting out this part, I would replace back with ½ inch, okay, to sew. Also this part ½ inch, also this part ½ inch on this side, please, not on the dark leg, on this side. Okay, so remember I took out 1.5 on this side, so I want to replace the 1.5 here and merge it back to my waistline. I will want to replace the 1.5 here on the side of my bust and replace it back to my waistline. I hope you understand what I'm trying to do here. So I'm taking out, I'm rolling back my 1.5. Please always replace your darts so that you'll be on the safe side by the time you're done cutting. Okay, so I've replaced back my darts. Okay, I'm taking out 1.5 from this side because I have to replace it back when I cut it. So I have replaced here and I've measured it back to my waistline. So I'm free to still go ahead and cut out my cuts now. I'm cutting out my darts. I'll cut it. So at this point, listen. But before then, I'll cut out my yoke. So I'm cutting out the armhole. So if you're still not subscribed to my channel, please, what are you waiting for? So this is my yoke, okay? So I'll go ahead and cut out my sides and every other thing. While getting here, which is my bust dart, okay? I will come out a bit. I'll just take it all the way to the top. So let me move this aside so you can see clearly. Okay, so this is the bust dart now. So I'm going to cut it open. I'll cut the bust dart open. I'll cut it to the bust point, not through it, okay? So now, and then I'll close my bust dart. Okay? So I'll close my bust dart and hold that down with my tape. So I'll go ahead and cut out the darts now. Okay, so remember there's a dart here I took at the top, and there's also a dart here I took at the lower part. So before then, remember I told you I was going to fold my darts in before cutting it. So let's just recheck and know the part that would be short at the end of the day. You can still go ahead and cut out your darts first, then you can add back with your pattern paper. I'm supposed to do that, but I didn't do that because I wanted my yoke to be on the straight side, because there was no spiral line from the front yoke. So I wanted it to be on the straight side. So I didn't bother going ahead to fold my darts in. But I'll quickly do that when I'm done cutting the sides and everything to make sure they're all accurate. Okay? So please like, share and subscribe to my channel. If you're really enjoying tutorials from us, please, to go a long way for this class and for this so let's double check to make sure our darts are on equal sides. So I'm double checking now. So this is my bust point. I'm placing together my bust points to ensure that everything is accurate. Okay, so it's accurate on the other side. So in most cases, it's not always accurate. So you can just go ahead and repeat the paper here with your paper tip and glue and make it equal. Okay, I'll still make it equal here. Okay, so this is my center fold This is a side fold. So I'll go ahead and cut this in the fabric. So let's quickly draft the back. Okay? Because there's a style line at the back. There'll be a yoke for later as well. So let's quickly draft the back as well. Okay? So what you'll be needing for the back would be your zipper allowance, and her back half length is 16 inches because my sewing allowance, which would be 17. Okay? So remember, you notice that the front is longer than the back because there was a bust. There's a bust in front. So you notice I didn't use the half length for back for front also. It is very, very wrong. There's a back half length and there's a front half length, like you always see on my tutorials subsequently, okay, in our classes. So this is 17. Her back half length is 16 because my sewing allowance, which is 17. So I'll quickly rule that out and put in all my lines, okay? An accurate line needed for this tutorial, okay? So you'll be needing a zipper allowance. A zip allowance, I'll be using 1 inch for the zipper allowance, okay? 1 inch, I'll take the 1 inch upwards. I'll take the 1 inch upwards and I'll quickly roll. I'll repeat the same measurement that I used for the chest line and every other thing, okay? Her shoulder is 8 divided by 2. Her shoulder is 16, which is 8 divided by 2 plus my sewing allowance, which is 8.5. So I will form that into a square, which is 8.5. I hope you can see the pencil marks very clear. Okay? So I'm making a line at 8.5. Okay? Can you please reduce that fan for me, please? 8.5. Okay? So I'm making sure my 8.5 is accurate on both sides. Okay? So I'm rolling that line. So I'll go ahead and put my bust point, and the remaining will be my waistline. Her bust point is 13 plus my sewing allowance, which is 13.5. Okay, so there's no underbust for the back, it's just the front, and what you'll be having at the back is just your chest line, your bust point, and your waistline. So I'm doing all lines out now. So this is my chest line, this is my bust point, chest line, bust point, waistline. Okay, so I'll go ahead and impute my dart because I'm going to cut the dart off as well. I need this to be as paying as, you know, it should be fitted, it should be snatched on her. Okay, 4.75. Remember what I did for the front. The dart leg is 4.2 plus half an inch sewing allowance, which is 4.75. So I'm taking it all the way. I'm taking it all the way to the chest line.
You sound like you're having fun.
Okay, so I marked out my dart line. So on the waistline, I'm going to take out 0.75 on each side. 0.75 on each side. In total, that would be 1.5. Then at this top line, at this chest line, I'm going to take out 0.5 or 0.25. Let's just take out 0.3, not up to 0.5. Okay. Okay. So remember, this would serve as my chest line. The same chest line I used for my front is the same chest line I'm going to be needing for my back as well. So you want to make them accurate so they can look in accordance with each other. Okay. So this is my 0.75. I will merge it to my upper dart. So it will be looking like this. Why I'm taking out a bit of dart from the chest line is you don't want this part of your chest line to be dropping when the person wears it at the end of the day. You want it to be fitted at the chest line. Okay, so I'll move over to the same neck depth I used for the front. The same neck width I used 3.5 for the front, but for this, remember, it's the back. It's not going to be all open like the front, so I will use I will use 1.2. From the actual picture she sent to me, the neck is very high, but like I said before, she's not the customer that likes choking neckline, so I'm using 1.2 for this. So I'll connect with my French curve. Okay, for my zipper allowance, please, not before your zipper allowance, after my zipper allowance. This is my zipper allowance, here is my zipper allowance. Okay, so the same shoulder slope I used for the front, I will use for the back also, and I'll connect the lines together. Okay, then I'll also divide to get the midpoint of my shoulder. Then from there I'll connect from here to this other side. You're not coming in for the back because there will be no squeeze at the back. You always do that for the front because you want to reduce the squeeze on the armhole. Okay, so I'll connect. So I'll connect this way. Okay, so this is the back armhole. Remember, this will be my chest line. The same chest line I use for front, I'll use for back. So I'll just go ahead and indicate my 0.5. I know that when I'm cutting the chest line, I'll be adding half an inch to this side. So this is the indication I'm going to need half an inch to sew it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and impute all my measurements. My waist is 9, which is 36. Okay, I would impute my dart back, which is 1.5, and I'll need half an inch to sew it, which is 2 inches altogether, and I'll be needing my 2 inches sewing allowance. I'll now go back to my bust. My bust is 11.25. Okay, I'll check this dart which I have here is almost 1.1, 1.2. I'll impute that back. I'll be needing half an inch sewing allowance, and I'll be needing 2 inches sewing allowance to sew, or 1.5 inch sewing allowance to sew the side. So whatever it is I have here in total will be 15. Let's say 15. Okay, we'll move it over to the top and connect the lines together. So we move it over and connect the lines together, which I've done. Then on the zipper side, you want your back to be tapered whenever this customer is wearing this clothes. You don't want any bulge or squeeze at the zipper parts. So you go ahead and take in from your zip allowance, you take in, you know, my zip allowance is 1 inch, take out half an inch, or you take out 0.6. okay, half an inch or 0.6. The more you take it in, the more it's more tapered at the person's back. Okay, so I'm rolling from that point to the upper part of the chest line, from that point to the upper part of my chest line. So from the style line, the yoke at the back is not is almost into the chest line. From the neckline, this is the neck depth, okay, which I use 1.2. So I'm coming down at I'm coming down at 0.75, which is this mark here. Okay, so I want to make a curve in such a way that it will go below the chest line, not above it. Okay, like a curve, like a yoke. Okay, so I will just make dotted lines to be sure I'm accurate. Then I'll come down from the chest line. Okay, I'll come down at 1.5. okay, so I'll use my dotted broken lines to get what I need. Okay, so I think I'm okay with this course. Remove your eyes from this zipper allowance, okay, and there will be a button loop at this point. So if I'm cutting now, I'm not cutting directly on my zipper allowance, I'm cutting after my zipper allowance because I will not be needing my zipper allowance. Okay, so this is how the back would be looking like. So if this would be the cut of the yoke at the back, so that means this our chest line will not be straight anymore. Okay, I want to make the chest line in such a way that the zipper part is a bit slant. So from this point, okay, at this point I will take it to where it will meet with my chest line. Okay, so this will be my new accurate chest line. to wherever it will meet with my chest line. So this will be my new accurate chest line. Okay, so anything I'm cutting now would be from here. Okay, this will be my yoke, from here will be my yoke, and here will be my chest line. Okay, I hope you understand what I did here. Now I will roll this one out to my zipper allowance. So while I'm cutting now, this will be my new chest line with my zipper allowance. Okay, then this would be without zipper allowance because this will be my yoke. Okay, this would be without zipper allowance because this will be my yoke. So this curve is starting directly at my chest line after my zipper allowance. So please make a notch here when you're cutting this part so you will know where your yoke would fall in when you're trying to assemble them together, because most times it's quite confusing. So I always like to make a notch on my fabric, or I will just make a note down there and say this is where my yoke would meet with my chest line. Okay, do you understand? So I will go ahead and cut. Let me just quickly go ahead and cut so that you can understand what I'm saying. So this will be my new yoke now. Okay, this will be my new yoke now. Okay, so this is what I'm saying now, and I'll follow the curve. So I like to double my yoke when I'm cutting. Okay, I'll quickly make a note here after my zipper allowance. I'll just quickly make a note because you just have to be sure about it. So I'm cutting after my zipper allowance. Okay, so I'm following the curve. When I'm cutting on my fabric, I'll go ahead and add my zipper allowance that I will need to sew this yoke. I like to write down because I have lots of work done, so that by the time I'm done cutting and sewing this front, and when I want to sew, I won't be looking for where I wrote and where I did not write. So it just keeps me in check. Okay? Just keeps me in check. So this will be my yoke for the back. So it's looking like what I said. There will be a button here. Okay. So this will be the cut behind. Okay. So this will be the yoke for the back. So I'll go ahead and cut the side off. Go ahead and cut the side. I'll just cut this straight up. By the time I'm done, I will say we cut my ankle again. Okay, so remember you took out the dart for your zipper allowance, so please write down so you don't get confused. Okay, this is my zipper, but by the time you're done cutting out your darts, they'll be looking like almost each other. This is your side seam, okay, this is my dart and this is my side seam. So remember the darts I said take out from the side. Okay, so I'm cutting out my darts also. I'm cutting out this part also. This part also. So if you don't want to have too many dark lines in your clothes, you can go ahead and close your darts with a paper tape so that when you're cutting on your fabric, you know you're just cutting a straight on piece. Okay, for me, I would like to sew my darts open. I would like to cut my darts open, so I'm just making sure my darts are accurate. So I'll go ahead and put a paper underneath and roll out the darts properly. Okay, from the picture that this is accurate. So I'll just go ahead and make a notch here. Remember, this is my zipper part. This is where my yoke is going to start from here. If I want to start placing my back yoke now, I know this is where it's going to start from this point. So it's going to start from here. My back yoke is going to start from here, from this notch point. You can see the notch point. My back yoke is going to start from this point. Okay, by the time I'm done sewing my darts and all. So we have the back to be like this, and also we have the front.